see this in a moment.
Oh, I need to turn on my light. Light's not on, John.
Oh,
Let me do that real quick.
right. We're here. We're on.
All right, we're on.
Right. Okay.
All right.
Right. We're ready for action. We're going to do this. 3, 2, 1. Hi there, everyone. This is John Drew here from Elevated Planet.
And Jolé Gabrielle here from Elevated Planet, and we'd like to welcome you to today's show, where we're getting very brave and courageous today, and John is going to tell us more about it.
Oh, yeah. We're getting controversial, but at the end of the day, we're telling our truth, right? And
That's
again,
right.
the decision is always yours about whether you accept it as your truth as well. But as always, we ask you to use your discernment and to go deep. Don't let the ego mind railroad you in a different direction. Go deep into yourself because that's what counts, right? So, yeah. And we're going into the Matrix, of course, the Matrix Showdown, consciousness versus code. And this is really interesting. I'd never even seen The Matrix up until very recent times. And I was encouraged to by one of our community who was saying, this does actually represent a lot of what is actually going on here, even though it's obviously, fiction and it's
Mm-hmm.
presented in a certain way in order to entertain. But at the same time, when I watched it, I thought, yeah, there's absolutely every reason to watch this movie because whilst there is a backstory to it, which obviously is fictional at the same time, there is so much truth in this, in this kind of way how things get orchestrated, and we don't realize we've been trapped in this matrix for thousands of years. Therefore, how do we even know the matrix exists? Because to us, this is the life, right? And yet, there is something so much bigger and more expansive waiting for us, just if just by dropping out of the program. I mean, what do you reckon, Jolie?
Yes, that's correct. I mean, The Matrix was a very interesting movie. It came out before its time. Even the backstory about who wrote it, how, and the involvement of the FBI, CIA, government,
Yeah.
it's interesting. But the thing is that it really resonates, right? Because as time has gone on, there's been people that say, we're living in a simulation, we're living in a matrix, we're living, and then we look at energy and we know that if we gain momentum with how our belief system, our frequency, our work, all of a sudden, what happens? Things start moving. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And I think this is the joy of this time here on the planet right now is that being the time of awakening and remembering who we really are and stepping back into that power means that for all these thousands of years we've been held down, now we have the chance to fly. But we have to find out who we are and use the tools. And again, Jolie, this is where you're invaluable to me and the community, is helping us with our soul architecture and tapping into the wisdom
yes.
and getting into that quantum field.
Yes. And once you do, it becomes, I would say, easier. Also in the beginning, it could seem like turning the Titanic, but as you begin to pick up that momentum and start to meditate and be consistent, it becomes easier and easier.
Yeah, no, that's it exactly. It is building it into a practice, isn't it? And it's very easy to get distracted by everything going on. It amazes me when you look at the news media these days, which I don't really look at it to be truthful, but at the end of the day, I do know what's going on. Um,
Yes.
and I know the big story over here is immigration, right? And it's about, you know, people being very aggrieved about this, but being actively encouraged to be aggrieved. You got two very
Mhm.
clear sides. And obviously, it's nothing to do with unity. It's everything to do with division. It's everything to
Yes.
do with creating anger. And, it's so easy to get drawn into it.
Yes, it is. You know, and we talk about remembering and olden times. Well, we have to remember that back in the day, people were traveling, walking, nomading,
Yeah.
and going and trading and going back home. And there were really, these lines are imaginary. And a lot of the times the people we're saying you're an immigrant, go back to where you were originally in the places that they're going back to. So it's like it gets complicated and weird. So
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And amongst the community already, we've got Lindy over in Cape Cod. So hi, Lindy,
hi,
and also
Lindy.
Joy. We've got
Joy.
deep joy from Yorkshire,
Thank you, Joy.
north of where I am right here. So great to have you guys along with everybody else. So thank you for being with us. And I think we're going to just crack on. What do you reckon, Jolé?
Yes, let's do that.
Right, here we go. Section 1 coming up, and I hope you enjoy this.
What avenues can be used right here, right now, to get back to wisdom, to get back to clarity, to get back to God? Do we need to return to religion? Is that the missing link?
Return to spirituality. Forget about religion.
That statement is going to anger a lot of people.
People will react to this entire program with anger, unless they do not.
Why do you say forget religion?
Because it is not good for you. Understand that in order for organized religion to succeed, it is to make people believe they need it. In order for people to put faith in something else, they must first lose faith in themselves. So the first task of organized religion is to make you lose faith in yourself. The second task is to make you see that it has the answers you do not. And the third and most important task is to make you accept its answers without question. If you question, you start to think. If you think, you start to go back to that source within. Religion can have you do that, because you're liable to come up with an answer different from what it has contrived. So religion must make you doubt yourself, must make you doubt your own ability to think straight. The problem for religion is that very often this backfires, for if you cannot accept without doubt your own thoughts, how can you not doubt the new ideas about God which religion has given you? Pretty soon you even doubt my existence, which ironically you never doubted before. When you were living by intuitive knowing, you may not have had me all figured out, but you definitely knew I was there. It is religion which has created agnostics. Any clear thinker who looks at what religion has done must assume religion has no God. For it is religion which has filled the hearts of men with fear of God, for once man loved that which is in all its splendor. It is religion which has ordered men to bow down before God, where once man rose up in joyful outreach. It is religion which has burdened man with worries about God's wrath, where once man sought God to lighten his burden. It is religion which told man to be ashamed of his body and its most natural functions, where once man celebrated those functions as the greatest gifts of life. It is religion which taught you that you must have an intermediary in order to reach God, where once you thought yourself to be reaching God by the simple living of your life in goodness and in truth. And it is religion which commanded humans to adore God, where once humans adored God because it was impossible not to. Everywhere religion has gone, it has created disunity, which is the opposite of God. Religion has separated man from God, man from man, man from woman. Some religions actually telling man that he is above woman, even as it claims God is above man, thus setting the stage for the greatest travesties ever foisted upon half the human race.
I tell you this, God is not above man, and man is not above woman. That is not the natural order of things, but it is the way everyone who had power, namely men, wished it was when they formed their male worship religions, systematically editing out half the material from their final version of the Holy Scriptures and twisting the rest to fit the mold of their male model of the world. It is religion which insists to this very day that women are somehow less, somehow second-class spiritual citizens, somehow not suited to teach the Word of God, preach the word of God or minister to the people. Like children, you are still arguing over which gender is ordained by me to be my priests. I tell you this, you are all priests, every single one of you. There is no one person or class of people more suited to do my work than any other. But so many of your men are just like your nations, power hungry. They do not like to share power, merely exercise it. And they have constructed the same kind of God, a power-hungry God, a God who does not like to share power but merely exercise it. Yet I tell you this, God's greatest gift is the sharing of God's power. I would have you be like me.
But we cannot be like you. That would be blasphemy.
The blasphemy is that you have been taught such things. I tell you this, you have been made in the image and likeness of God. It is that destiny you came to fulfill. You did not come here to strive and to struggle and to never get there, nor did I send you on a mission impossible to complete. Believe in the goodness of God, and believe in the goodness of God's creation, namely, your holy selves.
It's so interesting because I guess I have a little story to tell here about me. I don't usually like to reveal things about my personal life, but it's apropos here because of the word religion. Um, Very young, started out in a religious community at 12 years old until I went away to college. And the reason why my logic was I went to college far enough away to get away from religion or a religious institution, but I want to be close enough to where if I needed to go home, I could. So I was about 2 hours away. But this place was called the Institute of Divine Metaphysical Research. And it was an absolute mind control experiment. And when he speaks about self-doubt and not believing in yourself, and it's like you believe in this creator that usurps anything that you want to do, any desires that you have, that kills your creativity. And oftentimes when you're in these religious communities, you have no clue as to how to behave outside of them. And so everything that Ed Asner and company are talking about really resonates. And I want you to also ask yourself the question, for those of you who are sort of peeking out and maybe thinking, maybe this doesn't really work for me. Maybe it worked for my parents, maybe it worked for my grandparents, but it doesn't really work for me. And to really reach and know that it is possible for you to have a relationship with God that no one is in the center of or above, or you don't look to them to help you communicate. You can actually do that one-on-one. But it takes a little bit of knowledge and wisdom about how your spiritual architecture operates. And that's what we here at Elevated Planet do for you, is we really teach and we hold space for you to learn about your energy so that you can have that special one-on-one relationship with the divine without needing a church or a preacher or a priest or anyone but you, your guides, your angels, your masters, and that whole crew working for you and on your behalf to get you where? To unspeakable beauty.
Wow. That's beautiful. I love that. And absolutely, we don't need a middleman to get, between us and God, because we're all aspects of divine consciousness. But as you say,
Correct.
being able to understand who we are, what we are, and how
hmm
that soul architecture works is,
hmm
it's so profound.
I don't want to have this belief, but through my years in a religious community and from observing religion from the outside looking in, it scares me because I feel like it's a mind control program. I'm just going to be honest with you, because anything that tells you to give your power to something or someone else is not there to support you.
No.
It's not. It's always been used as a trick for people to get in your pockets or to suck vampirically some of your soul energy, your loosh, to let others take your loosh or your energetic, soul, cosmic life force energy. And now it's time to call it back, take it back, maintain it, preserve it, protect it. And what does that look like? Unconditional love for self and really responding with love to your environment.
And the other thing kind of really strikes me as well is that the Nag Hammadi texts that were found in 1945 shows the original version of the Bible rather than the corrupted version of the Bible, which most people believe as the actual Bible, the King James version.
Right. The king, and who wrote it, John? I mean, there's so much lore around who wrote the King James version. Sir Francis Bacon, Shakespeare, was Shakespeare Sir Francis Bacon, was, so
Yeah, yeah,
automatically to me, it should just be thrown out. But, it's very controversial. I do not want to take anybody's Jesus away from them or anything like that. It's all love here. But
yeah,
on my side over here, I feel as if religion is a very dangerous tool of people who are trying to control you and suck you dry financially as well as energetically.
yeah, yeah. And I think this is the irony. This is the God channeled God saying, that spirituality
Yeah.
is the way forward,
Yes.
not religion. And Jesus will say exactly the same thing. There's channelings of Jesus where he said
Yes.
exactly the same thing. In terms of religions, the good thing is that it can create heart-based communities, but the
Yes.
underlying doctrine is just the thing that distorts the whole story and the misogyny of many of these religions in terms of putting man above woman and
Mm-hmm.
God above man, as it says. It's not the way it's really supposed to be, because if we are aspects of divine consciousness, we kind of, we can reach out in love for help and we can reach out for
Yes.
guidance, but understand our power as well.
Correct. And one of the first places that we benefit by going to really connect with the divine, within internally, definitely, but nature. And sitting under LED lights and pews and listening to someone profess to you is not really filling you up the way that Mother Nature does, and the wind and the waves and the all of the beauty of her.
For sure, for sure. And I think that we will be hearing more about that in due course as well during today's program as well. So fantastic. Okay. Thank you, Jolé. Okay, so at this point then, this is where we will now switch our attention
Yeah.
to David Icke. Yeah, and this is where it gets very interesting. So there's an awful lot of information for us to break down here. So here we go.
The deepest secret of this matrix lies not in hidden agendas or shadowy figures, but in the very nature of perception, where the physical world is merely a projection, a holographic simulation fed to the senses to mask the infinite consciousness that resides within every individual. Unlocking this secret isn't about fear or despair. It's the gateway to empowerment, a call to awaken the dormant potential that allows humanity to transcend limitations and step into a realm of boundless creation. This simulation, often referred to as the Matrix, operates much like a vast computer program, where the rules are encoded not in silicon chips, but in the frequencies of energy that make up the universe. Everything perceived as solid matter, buildings, bodies, even the stars above, is decoded from waves of information interpreted by the brain as a tangible reality. Yet this decoding process is manipulated, filtered through layers of programming that distort the true essence of existence. The insight here is revolutionary. What if the five senses are not reliable windows to the world, but programmed interfaces that limit awareness to a narrow bandwidth? Expanding beyond them reveals that reality is malleable, shaped by consciousness rather than dictated by external forces. This understanding transforms confusion into clarity, turning passive observers into active creators who can rewrite the script of their lives. Delving deeper, the matrix architecture relies on frequency control, where low vibrational states like fear, division, and scarcity keep populations trapped in a loop of repetition. These states are amplified through media, education, and societal norms, creating a feedback system that reinforces the illusion. But here's the uplifting truth. By raising personal vibration through awareness, intention, and connection to the infinite self, individuals can glitch the system. It's like discovering a backdoor in the code. Sudden insights, synchronicities, and moments of profound intuition signal that the matrix is not impenetrable. Knowledge seekers who pursue this path find that curiosity is the key, unlocking doors to multidimensional awareness where time, space, and identity dissolve into oneness. Consider how history has been a scripted narrative, with events engineered to maintain control over collective consciousness. Wars, economic collapses, and cultural shifts aren't random. They're orchestrated to harvest emotional energy, feeding the simulation's maintainers. Yet this revelation empowers rather than disempowers, for recognizing the pattern allows humanity to break free. The deepest secret unveils that humans are not mere players in this game, but the programmers themselves, forgotten gods who volunteered for this experience to evolve through contrast. Awakening to this restores sovereignty, encouraging a shift from victimhood to mastery, where every challenge becomes an opportunity for growth. As curiosity drives further exploration, the role of the subconscious mind emerges as a critical element. Buried within it are the codes of conditioning, implanted from birth through repetitive messaging that enforces separation, us versus them, body versus spirit, finite versus infinite. Transforming this involves conscious reprogramming, using techniques like meditation, visualization, and questioning ingrained beliefs. Imagine the mind as a garden. Weeds of doubt and fear must be uprooted to allow seeds of truth to flourish. This process is transformative, leading to heightened intuition and a sense of interconnectedness with all life, where empathy replaces judgment and abundance flows naturally.
So, to unpack this, as David said, the deepest secret of the Matrix lies in the very nature of perception, where the physical world is merely a projection, a holographic simulation, fed to the senses to mask the infinite consciousness that resides within every individual. So how do we interpret this? Well, I offer you this. We are all aspects of the one creator, and as such, we are each limitless creators. And we have created the world around us today as a result of our collective consciousness, because we've been programmed and conditioned by the Matrix to believe that we are limited and dependent on others outside of ourselves to control our lives. Whilst the Matrix masks our infinite consciousness, it remains ours to realize and step back into our power. David goes on to say that unlocking the secret is the gateway to empowerment, a call to awaken the dormant potential that allows humanity to transcend limitations and step into a realm of boundless creation. And that is exactly what we're doing here with our elevated planet community. Collective consciousness is enormously powerful. So if you feel so inclined, please do join us. Meanwhile, when describing the Matrix, David explains that the decoding program is manipulated, filtered through layers of programming that distort the true essence of existence, and goes on to ask, what if the five senses are not reliable windows to the world, but programmed interfaces that limit awareness to a narrow bandwidth? Expanding beyond them reveals that reality is malleable, shaped by consciousness rather than dictated by external forces. Well, we know that scientifically the bandwidth or range of frequencies that our five senses are tuned into are just a small fraction of those frequencies that are actually available. Therefore, an entire world could exist just beyond our range of senses, and indeed it does. Accessing our intuition and imagination offers us expansion of the ranges of frequencies that are open to us. And as David says, knowing this turns passive observers into active creators who can rewrite the scripts of their lives. And that is how we create our world of unspeakable beauty. No longer do we fall for the Matrix architecture of fear, division, and scarcity that keeps populations trapped in a loop of repetition. We've transcended that, and we live in the now moment, in joy, or at the very least in divine neutrality. feeding only positivity into the quantum field. Of course, what I've spoken about here only covers the first few sentences of this first section by David. So, for those that feel the inclination, why not explore it more deeply throughout, to explore and to feel the resonance of the wisdom? Jolé, what would you care to add?
It really sounds upside down, doesn't it? And it reminds me of another aspect of religious communities, and I wanted to add in here is that David, I kind of touches on it, how it's upside down, how you go in and you're told you are Yahweh or God is in you, but yet you have all these limits on you, right? You're limited by what you can do based on your religion. And if I am limitless and I am the creator, I should be able to come in here and get edified and then go out in nature and go out in the world and experience life. That's exactly what the Messiah did, right? He went out and he experienced life and he spoke with people and he went into different places and he went into the temple with a whip and he beat those people up out of there. So it tells you that really, if you're living in the footsteps of somebody who has been great, the Buddhas, you know, Paramahansa Yogananda, you want to talk about Christ, Yahshua the Messiah, anybody that you want to name based on, the myth of the hero, they have always seemed to have been a big part of nature, a big part of society. Some of these people have gone into hiding or whatever in order for them to get the spiritual edification that they needed internally to stand 10 toes down in what they believed in. I don't know if any of these people really wanted us to worship them as much as them being an example and a guide. So when David Icke speaks to some of this, taking off the covers, it is in alignment with the fact that religion is part and parcel of this program or this virus that has been programmed within us. And we just want this to be food for thought. At least I do. And hopefully my experience can help someone say, hey, I am a limitless being, so let me step out here and put all these principles to the test without all this rhetoric.
Yeah, an interesting thing as well, again, 100% with you. Following the crucifixion of Christ, the first time that a church was established with him was, interestingly enough, in England, in Glastonbury. It was known as the Church of the Way, and it was about Christ's teachings. It wasn't about deifying him. It was actually about teaching the way that he was as the way we can all live. And that's simply that point, right? So, as you say, they are examples for humanity. They do not see themselves above humanity. And yet
Yes.
we kind of have this drummed into us as, and yeah, absolutely. We can love the purity of who they are and aspire to bring that into our own life. But I'm absolutely convinced that if we were having a conversation with them here right now, they say, oh no, we are all one. We are all at that
Exactly.
same level.
Right. And what's interesting is there's another vine here about the Church with the Way and Glastonbury, or the tour, as they used to call it, is they just lopped it right on top of everything that was powerful about nature energy, because if anyone knows about the lore of that, the church coming in and what was there, apparently, I think it was touched on in a fictional way in the Mists of Avalon. Nevertheless, to put the church on top of something so sacred and to close down that portal was really a disservice to us as humanity.
It's all changing. That's it.
Yes.
So,
Hopefully we can open back that portal over there in Glastonbury. If you think about how sacred that land is and what takes place on it on a regular basis, again, it speaks to things being upside down.
yes, indeed. There are going to be a lot of revelations in the months and years ahead, that's for sure. And
Yes.
so much of this is all about raising our frequency and giving us the opportunity to do just that. Fantastic. Okay. Thank you, Jolé. Well, we're going to go back to David.
The Matrix's illusion extends to the concept of time, portraying it as linear and inescapable, a ticking clock that binds experiences to past regrets and future anxieties. In truth, time is a construct, a perceptual filter that can be transcended. By anchoring in the eternal now, individuals access parallel realities where choices ripple across dimensions, altering outcomes in ways that defy logic. This insight is profoundly uplifting, offering freedom from the tyranny of chronology and inviting a dance with possibilities. Curious minds revel in this, experimenting with presence to manifest desires, proving that intention shapes reality far more than circumstance. Energy, the currency of the universe, flows through everything, and the matrix manipulates it by creating blockages, emotional traumas, societal pressures, and environmental toxins that dim the inner light. Healing these blockages reignites the spark, allowing for energetic alignment with higher frequencies. Practices like grounding in nature, breath work, and communal harmony amplify this flow, fostering a collective awakening. The secret here is that no one is isolated. Every shift in personal energy contributes to a global ripple, eroding the matrix's grip and ushering in an era of enlightenment.
Wow, that's such a beautiful sentiment to think about, even through all the shadow work that, I feel we're being compelled to do. Because at the end of the day, as he speaks, we signed up for this, and this is a matrix. So it's a pattern, it's a program. And once you recognize that virus within you, you can then begin to purge it out of your system. So what does that look like? It looks like you recognizing a critical thought about something that you believed and saying, well, maybe that doesn't resonate anymore. Maybe I need to just go down this rabbit hole a little bit and see. And then that one thread opens up so many others, as it's as if the light will expand. And the best place to start is with you. Studies that show that if you pray and if you deal with some of these issues of your past and you put love on them and you visualize it resolving and dissolving, and you just even just going, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, to that experience that caused you trauma, sadness, grief, then it absolutely changes the trajectory of your future. So forgiveness is such a huge part of stepping up out of the matrix. In the previous clip, he spoke about curiosity. Curiosity killed the cat, right? I talk about how these cliches and these platitudes, they teach them to us, we repeat them, and then also that becomes a virus within us. So your curiosity is a part of you honing your intuition. So that's another thing I want to give you. Now, there's some things that's none of our business, like what your neighbor is doing in their personal time. That's not the kind of curiosity I'm asking you to have unless you feel like you're in danger. I'm asking you to have curiosity about yourself and about the ways in which you can be of service. About ourselves and the ways in which we can be of service out here in the world to make it a better place and move into unspeakable beauty. And David Icke, thankfully, has taken the covers off of some of the ways in which we can help ourselves. But always remember, it starts within and it starts with us. Go back, fix the past, even if it's just forgiveness, and then look to remove the walls that you believe in having chronology and a step-by-step process. Oftentimes, healing fails to be linear. It's more like a pretzel or something that's very squiggly and has really no path that you can really follow, because every one of us is unique and original, and it's based on our own frequency and vibration. So get into you, and through getting into you, you're getting into God, you're getting into the environment, because if it's done properly and it's not egocentric, you'll see an expansion take place. So love on yourself, get curious, and please forgive.
Beautifully said. Yeah, I like that because, my neighbor's been doing very strange things recently. And only kidding.
I know.
What I was
But
thinking,
still,
Yeah, no, but seriously, no. I mean, my journey over this last 7 years has purely been as a result of curiosity, right?
Yes,
And that is a driving force. And you're absolutely right. This is not something that is encouraged. It's not encouraged by the religious fraternity, right? Because if you start to question the religion, you soon find a lot of flaws. So, as you say, many of these controlling entities rely on you not asking questions, just accepting what you've been told.
hmm I know that that's safe. I don't know. I think the nervous system needs to be safe, but sometimes we've got to take risk in order for that to happen by questioning and, asking for more.
Yeah. I agree. And sometimes it's not the risk that it seems at the outset. We're just so busy to
Yes,
accept what we've been told that it seems controversial to ask questions. But in reality, this is us stepping back into our power. And it is important because, this is a time of discernment. This is a time where we need to question things. This is a time where you don't accept what Elevated Planet tell you because it comes down to you. But
exactly.
don't just get sort of like stuck in the ego consciousness that tells you to stick with what you've always been told. Just do the research, check it out for yourself, and see what resonates the most.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Jolé. Right. Well, we're going back to David for one last section, and then we're back live with you. Bear with me.
Pushing boundaries further, the biological body is revealed as an avatar, a vehicle for consciousness to navigate the simulation. It's not the true self, but a temporary interface, programmable through thoughts and emotions. Diseases, aging, and limitations are often manifestations of distorted programming, healable by aligning with pure consciousness. It's the only alignment between the soul and consciousness. This perspective transforms health from a battle to a harmonious expression, where vitality emerges from inner balance rather than external fixes. For those ever learning, this opens avenues to explore quantum biology, where DNA responds to intention, activating latent potentials like enhanced perception and longevity. The Matrix thrives on duality, pitting opposites against each other to generate conflict and distraction, good versus evil, light versus dark. These are illusions that obscure the unified field of existence.
And we're back. So it's an interesting thing. I really enjoyed picking up on this by David Icke going back a little while ago. And interestingly enough, I know that Joy, who's here today, she did mention the other day about an interview that David did with Emilio Ortiz, whose work we've featured before. And it was an excellent interview. So if you want to check that out sometime, I recommend that as well. Because one of the things that actually I was very familiar with David Icke, I remember him from when I was much younger. In the 19, probably like from maybe late 70s, 1980s, he used to be a sports commentator for the BBC. And he was very well known. And he was, he was really on a way to a fantastic career in the media. And then all of a sudden he started talking about aliens and he started talking about various weird things that back in the 1980s, you can imagine, everybody just thought he'd gone crazy. Now the world is starting to catch up and in fact has caught up quite some way to realize that he has been doing a lot of truth telling. But as he said in that interview with Emilio, one of the things that he learned to cope with was ridicule, right? Because that came thick and fast, because he wasn't taken seriously, as with any of the pioneers in this work. I mean, I know that, again, our good friend Dolores Cannon, as was, she was doing this work back in the 1980s, and obviously this was very much on the fringe at the time. But David, being a very public figure as well, was very much open to that ridicule. And he talks about that, and he just tells his truth, and I think he tells it fabulously well. So Nag Hammadi texts, you're just going to relate back to that again for a moment, because that again comes back to what we were talking about with the conversations with God, because that did present a version of the original version of the New Testament, which was very distorted relative to, well, the King James version was very distorted relative to the original version. And you could see that a lot of the distortions, whether by accident or design, and you can make your own mind up, was disempowering the words in the Bible from the reader. Okay, so was it a control mechanism? I'll leave you to make your own mind up on that. And again, it's well worth exploring if it sounds interesting to you, because there's plenty of literature on that. And I know Greg Braden talks about that quite a bit as well, really, in terms of the prayer side of things, because again, the reinterpretation of that in the King James version definitely made a big difference to the effectiveness of prayer. So one of the interesting things about where we are with this matrix, now, one of the things we know from our hypnotist journey to Avalon was that Thoth, the Atlantean, the ascended master, is the architect of the ascension journey. And for this to become the ascension journey, we had to go descend into duality, which is this cycle, which is just finishing now, which we know is going to dramatically change the landscape into chaos for a little while ahead. But it's all by design, carefully curated to awaken humanity. So chaos by design will continue to build. So it's a great time to sit on your eagle's perch, as Pam Gregory would tell us, and find our divine neutrality, the joy, the love and the laughter, regardless of what the outside world is presenting you, because this really is an inside job. When we step into our power, that is when we are feeding the right energy into the quantum field. We're not dropping into fear. We're not dropping into anger. We're actually finding our heart-based consciousness, and we are then sending into the quantum field all those positive energies that we would like not just ourselves but others to enjoy as well. And the more of that goes on into that collective consciousness field, because our version of reality is purely a reflection of the collective consciousness that surrounds the planet. So we're doing our bit now, and again, doing those Thursday meditations on the Pam Gregory meditation. So thank you to all those who are there with us for that, because it makes a difference. I think we had about a dozen of us last Thursday, which represents 144, because you've got to square that number for the energy that goes out into the quantum field. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So yeah, what else did I want to tell you? I wanted to talk a little bit about, again, to get to the truth of this Ascended Masters of Jesus story, for instance, I would definitely recommend for those who have an interest in exploring a different version of reality is to go back to Dolores Cannon's work, where she was using quantum healing hypnosis technique. Get it right, John Drew. But within that, she was tapping into past lives of people who actually spent time with Jesus, and it is amazing. It is so moving. It's just beautiful. But you feel you're getting the real essence of who he was. And one of the things that's very interesting is that he always had as many female disciples as he had male disciples. So all this thing about the focus is always on the men is absolutely obvious in the Bible, New Testament version that we see in the Bible now. It's distorted. It's distorted. And, even if you go back to the times of Camelot and King Arthur and the Round Table, the feminine energy was just as strong as the masculine energy there. And they knew that they couldn't find their true power and growth unless they had that balanced. So again, something that Jesus or Yeshua ben Joseph knew, the same thing that King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table knew, it was getting that balance of masculine and feminine energy right. Okay, so again, it's all about, we did sign up for this test. One of the things you get to realize is that the wars are orchestrated, the pandemics are engineered, the plagues were created, all these things that have happened over the hundreds and thousands of years, it's all part of this test. So, we are immortal spirits after all. So, it's kind of what we signed up for. But it doesn't always make it easy. But now we just have to use discernment and realize, within our like-minded heart-based community, because we can always lean on each other when we have questions or thoughts or observations. It's an exciting time to be here. And with having said that, I want to bring Jolé back in.
Hi, John, I'm back. Really taking the covers off of some of this stuff and revealing the truth is a great way, and was the first way that I began to lead towards healing. And I speak of this all the time. David Icke, he sort of was who ripped the Band-Aid off for me first in understanding that, you know what, Jolé, maybe it's not you. So why don't you go ahead and get rid of some of this stuff and then get to know who you really are. And then you can have real, true, what they consider morals and ethics. I mean, it comes naturally because what? You start to align with the laws of the universe. If you just give yourself the opportunity to get to know you and spend time with you, your resting state is in alignment with the laws of the universe. There's nothing really you need to do other than get rid of or release some of these belief systems, limiting beliefs, and negative thoughts that have been implanted in you. And David Icke talks about the distortion that takes place in our lives. Um, Again, John, you spoke a while ago in a show about how abundance is there. It's just the blocks to it. Am I correct? It's just
Absolutely.
all there. All we've done is put these roadblocks in the way.
Yes.
So let's get clear, let's get focused, let's move these roadblocks. And one of the first ways, smile and don't take things personal. Have a sense of humor about some of the things that are going on. Like, I'm not saying, if you're getting evicted, it's maybe a year from now, you can find the humor in it. I get it. But in the moment, things that are taking place and someone saying something to you, let's not turn that into such a big deal sometimes. Let's move on and let's just raise our frequency and vibration so that person falls away.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. I love that. And that's very deep and profound. And you're just proving the point. We're not just here as eye candy. We're here to teach people and for, to spread the wisdom. And
Yes, absolutely.
yeah,
I mean, it's funny. Let's laugh about it, but also too, I wanted to speak on not only service, intention. We say the road to hell is paved with good intentions, right? There's another cliche we have. And it is very true. What you do versus what you intend to do are two different things. Let's learn to fill the gap. Nevertheless, being of service doesn't mean going out into the world and going to the food bank and all that. That's one way. But being of service sometimes just means cleaning up your own backyard, making sure your home is clean. And it may not go any further than that, but that's being of service and that's setting an example if you're cleaning up your life. I mean, you can stop right there because if you clean up your life, guess what you're going to do? You're going to take your neighbor's hand. It's just inevitable. And then that's going to reverberate. So that is also being of service.
yeah, 100%. And that's the thing. It is an inside job, right? Our obligation is to ourselves because,
Right.
the better version we can be of ourselves, the better version we are to be that beacon for those around us, that will encourage them to join us on the journey. And, so I love that. It's not what we choose to do because it's interesting. We've always been encouraged to be doers rather than how to be, right?
Right.
And that's one of the things we've learned is who you choose to be, not what you choose to do.
Yeah. It
So,
isn't always easy, John, because
no.
especially for people who have these 9 to 5 jobs and families and
Yeah.
responsibilities, because healing, I'm just going to be real with you, it really requires a lot of downtime. I mean, we see that with the physical body. Once it's hurt, we give people 6 weeks, we give them time to recuperate the physical body, but the emotional body, we don't give you any time at all. Like,
No.
suck it up. No one
No.
cares. Work harder. This is our sentiment. And it's like, okay, well, then you're going to be rubbing up against broken people.
Yeah. No, and I see it sort of certainly like in my daughter's generation in particular, they're working 2 or 3 jobs just to try and keep a roof over their head and food on the table. it's kind of all by design, chaos by design, and it reaches a breaking point because this is what it takes for us to realize that we're so much better than this and we're so much bigger than that. We are the programmers of our experience, and yet we've been told that we're not. So, we just rewrite our own code through conscious reprogramming, which is where you help us with, the guided meditations, visualizations, which is so powerful, right?
Yes, and I'm grateful to have that as a tool. I don't know what I would have done, John, at the time. I was in the Matrix deep, not to say I'm not still there, but I was at a deeper level.
Yeah, right.
And I was just ready to I didn't know what to do. I was so confused and just getting up and going to this job that I hated, that everyone said is the greatest job on earth, the happiest place on earth. It was miserable, and I thought it was all me. And just to know that there was creative visualization, there's some ancient teachings I could reach for to sort of call myself back. Oh, it was such a blessing.
Hmm. Well, we all know now that the happiest place on earth is Elevated Planet, and
Yes,
Disney has definitely been relegated to second place, and it might not even be
second place.
second place, really, but but yes, yes. So do you think it's getting to that time now where we can
Yes,
explore the
yes, I think
meditation
so.
side of things? Fantastic. Okay. Because David told us, that the human avatar is programmable through our thoughts and emotions, right? And this is
Exactly.
part of this. So I'm very grateful, as always, to you, Jolé, for what you do for us. So we're going to start off with a little bit more David wisdom for a minute or so to take us into this. So what do you reckon? Are you ready?
Yes, let's go.
Okay, we're going, guys. Hang on in there.
Nature itself holds clues to escaping the matrix, its patterns reflecting universal codes, fractals in leaves, spirals in galaxies, all pointing to infinite intelligence. Reconnecting with the Earth recalibrates frequencies, dissolving artificial constructs and restoring natural rhythms. This connection is uplifting, reminding humanity of its intrinsic bond with the cosmos, inspiring stewardship that heals both self and planet. As awareness expands, psychic abilities awaken. Telepathy, precognition, remote viewing, tools long suppressed by the matrix to maintain control. Cultivating these through practice unlocks hidden dimensions where information flows freely, unhindered by physical constraints. Curious minds thrive here, delving into ancient wisdom and modern experiments that validate these potentials, fostering a renaissance of human capability.
Feet flat on the floor, palms face up on your thighs. Take a deep breath in. Gently exhale and bring your awareness to the center of your chest. As you breathe with the rhythm of your body, command internally your heartbeat sync up with your breath, creating safety in the nervous system. And from this place of safety, we're going to ground our energy by visualizing a beautiful grounding cord of a natural earth element connected to our first chakra between our sit bones and moving through the layers of Mother Earth, rooting into her core. Once you have rooted yourself into the core of Mother Earth, visualize And imagine beautiful rose-shaped scrubbing bubbles blanketing the inside and the outside of your grounding cord. And your grounding cord is 6 inches in diameter, uniform all the way down to its roots. Pull your aura in to be 1.5 feet around you. Snap in your astral body, feet and feet, knees and knees, hips and hips, hands and hands, elbows and elbows, shoulders and shoulders, head and head, fitting inside of you like a hand fits inside of a glove. And call your higher self back above you, standing or sitting, whatever resonates with you, at a comfortable distance above your crown. Now, take a deep breath in and gently exhale while you visualize the bottoms of your feet opening like the lens of a camera. And you're going to call in 15% earth energy of a color that's going to work for you. So if we're looking to move out some fear, you want to bring in red. You want more creativity, orange. You want more intuition, bring in beautiful purple from Mother Earth. As that 85% cosmic gold, simultaneously as you're visualizing your crown opening like the lens of a camera, comes cascading down from the heavens, raining down on your higher self, your aura layer opening up a portal there as your crown receives all of this beautiful life force energy from the heavens. And it trickles down, doing what it does in the brain and the neurotransmitters and the synapses, superpowering that prefrontal cortex, moving out the worry, doubt, and fear, allowing you to have access to the zone, the focus, and the clarity that your future, creating that future from a place of love for self as we move into the center of the head and decalcify our pineal, moving out any animalistic primal urges of that limbic system and allowing for the higher self to guide the ego as that golden essence then travels down the spine, lighting up each vertebra on its way down, letting that nervous system know faith, belief in self, energy straight from the divine. I am here from you, for you. I am you. As that essence moves down and meets that earth energy in the first chakra, and then begins to fill you up like water fills up a cup, moving in wellness, abundance, recalibrating and reprogramming you, bringing you back to the factory reset of being aligned with the laws of the universe, being from that divine factory, from God, from the creator of all that is, from the ether. See yourself right here from a heart-centered space, being filled up with earth energy, cosmic divine life force energy, as it moves through all the systems of your body, sending out dis-ease and illness down that grounding cord and filling up those spaces and places with that limitlessness as it moves up into the heart, superpowering that, moving out dis-ease and illness, bringing in so much unconditional love that the double doors of your heart open. And this energy starts to pour out of you and into your aura layer as it continues to move up into your body and flow down into your hands, moving up your arms, bringing in so much creativity, allowing for the creativity that's already there to move out any blocks, any doubt, any worry, any fear, as that essence then begins to move up your neck, cleaning up the throat chakra, moving in more truth, more integrity as it goes up into the cranium, sprouting out the side of the crown, out of the hand chakras, and out of the side of the feet chakras, filling up the aura layer. Take a moment, work it out. Things are coming out, things are going in. See it clearly, or feel it, or hear it, or command it to be so. Whatever works for you. I want you to clean out your energy field, because what we're going to do is some pre-paving. We're going to put these principles to the test by visualizing our future and spending time resolving and dissolving the blocks of the past. So allow for this essence to fill you up. Be clear as to how the earth energy, in tandem with the cosmic divine golden life force energy, what does it look like moving through your body? What areas is it going to bring in more love, open up more expansiveness? So from a heart-centered space, I want you to open up that portal between your heart and the center of your head, that beautiful, safe portal, and move your awareness from your heart into the center of your head. And I want you to spend a few minutes pouring love on your past. As this energy moves throughout your body, by pouring love on your past, you're going to increase your frequency and your vibration. By letting go of this energy in your body, see yourself in those situations that bring you grief, stress. Look at it and say, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Resolving and dissolving any excess energy. And if there's a picture, it's going to pop itself out and line up right in front of you. But go back to yesterday, the day before that, and start to travel at the speed of love. Saying, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me. And your heart is open and love is pouring out. So just focus that love onto that person, that experience, that situation. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. As that earth energy and that cosmic life force energy flows through your body, moving down the grounding cord, all that angst, stress, frustration, guilt, and shame from the past, as that earth energy in tandem with that golden life force energy fills up those spaces and those places with love and forgiveness. And you see that essence move down the grounding cord as that gold light and that earth energy follow right behind it. And now, place a beautiful golden sun above your head. And in this golden sun, as always, is going to be your name. inside of a high-powered magnet. And you're going to call back all your energy from these spaces, people, places, and things. Once and for all, calling your energy back, letting go, releasing, bringing your care and concern back to you, your power, your beauty, your destiny, your energy, your goals, your journey. Call it all back. And when you're ready, allow for that beautiful river cascade of gold light that is coming down from the Creator, 85% of it. Allow for that sun to be a part of that river, or that river to absorb that sun, bring it down into your crown, and allow for all of your energy that you called back to mix in with that earth energy and that cosmic life force energy that's gold, and the earth energies of a color that resonates with you, and see it fill up all parts of you, pushing out into your aura layer and into your environment. And as you sit here in your energy, earth energy of a color that resonates with you, and golden, divine, cosmic life force energy swirling all around you. This is the energy of manifestation. So, from a place of joy and of love, bring yourself through your golden portal and back down into your heart. And from a place, as I said, of love and of joy, spend a few moments visualizing the most loving, highest, graceful, and easy future that fulfills your goals. And be mindful. Make sure it's your face and your body the way that you want it. If anybody else comes into your future visualization that you did not call in, a rose, move them out into the rose, blow it up, give them their energy back. And with a golden sun above your head, call your energy back. But stay focused and bring your awareness back to your beautiful, the most loving, highest future. Take a deep breath in and see that vision of your future surrounded by a beautiful pink bubble. I want you to condense that future into a beautiful pink bubble. You can make it into a video, a book, whatever it is, but your entire future of your highest good is surrounded by a pink bubble. And I want you to watch this pink bubble go up into the heavens until it disappears. Your energy signature, your intention, your worthy and deservedness, and your manifestation has now been sent out into the universe for unfoldment. If you have that golden sun above your head, that's called all your energy back. Make sure you bring it down and you allow it to extend and expand into your energy field. Reconnect with 15% earth energy of a color that resonates with you and that 85% cosmic gold life force energy, that mixture mixing in with your energy, pushing out into your aura layer. Your nervous system feels safe. It's pushed out into your aura layer as well. And your toroidal field has lit up as that love is continuing to pour out of your heart, lighting up, infusing your environment with it. As that pyramid with the capstone begins to spin and that beautiful white light encompasses you, your environment, Mother Earth, and the universe. As you hold the space for you and all of those that you love and know for divine unfoldment of their most loving and highest good, including you. So now we take a deep breath in, gonna hold it for a moment, gently exhale as we close our feet chakras. And if you still have roses outside your aura, make sure you give them a push and blow them up. Transmute them into positive, creative life force energy for anyone to use. As you take another deep breath in, and you close the double doors of your heart. And if your brow is open, you see that close like the lens of a camera, but you having a clear view out of it like a window. You're going to take another deep breath in. And you're going to close those feet chakras like the lens of a camera and see Mother Earth energy recede back down. And as you take another deep breath in and hold it for a moment, you're going to close your hand chakras and your crown chakras like the lens of the camera. And from the crown, you're going to see that cosmic gold life force energy ascend back up into the heavens. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
That was beautiful. Thank you, Jolé.
Absolutely.
Love that. Love that. Love that. Right in line with today's focus. And I think it's so empowering, rewriting our own conscious programming, stepping into our power, getting rid of all that no longer serves.
Yes.
It's an amazing time to be here on the planet.
I agree. I think we're blessed to be experiencing this. And as long as we have gratitude at our forefront, I mean, you know, among other things, but being grateful for this experience, I think it unfolds in a way that supports us.
Yeah. Yeah, they do say that the absolute demand to be here on the planet right now was so extreme that if you are on the planet right now, it's here by choice. And we are very fortunate to be here because it's a time of transition. It's a time when we learn who we are. We step out of the matrix and we become the divine essence of who we truly are. So, how
Yes.
fantastic is that?
Right. It is wonderful.
Yeah. So, okay, right. Wrap up time. So, one of the things that I wanted to mention, as ever, we have the newsletter going out tomorrow with the edited version of the show. And also, just to mention, we've got Jolé's Spotify playlist on. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that, Jolé?
Yes, we or I, you know, we like to have that music on our newsletter, right? And so we'd love to keep the good vibes going, and we put together a Spotify list that will keep in alignment with what we meditated and what our show was like, so you can get through your week and still have that energy and vibration with you.
Yeah. Music is a fantastic healer, and from what I've seen of it,
Absolutely.
it's very carefully curated and it's going to keep you high vibing. So,
Yes.
heartily recommend. And anybody that wants to go on the list for our newsletter, distribution list, send me an email to johndrew@elevatedplanet.life or contact us through the website elevatedplanet.life/contact page, because that gives you a free format box so you can send us any message you care to along the way, and we guarantee that we will always respond to you as well.
Yes.
And
And as always, please like, share, and subscribe. It would really help us. And also, it would help you and your friends.
yes, yes, this is it. We're all coming together in like-minded, heart-based community, and anybody who wants to be with us on the journey will be exceptionally welcome, because it's going to be an interesting few years ahead of us. It's what we signed up for. And, having said that, when we're on an eagle's perch in our divine neutrality, the journey is so much easier and we can help people around us. So,
Correct.
okay. All right. Well, I think that's it then, Jolé.
Yeah, that is all.
Very cool. All right. Well, thank you as ever to everybody who's been here with us today. Thank you to everybody who tunes in for the recording as well. So grateful to you. And we look forward to seeing you in another week's time.
Absolutely. Take care.
Yeah. Take care
Bye
all.
bye.